So,
Who do you feel like you're competing with?
You know, I would say myself, but it's honestly everybody. I guess it's part of that era, man, with hip hop culture. It's like everybody I'm around.
Yeah.
It's all competition. So I can't lie and be like, oh, I'm only competing with myself. And I see other people, it's like, I want to take their lunch.
Hunger for what?
Hunger for more.
Thank you for tuning in to a new episode of the Hunger for More podcast. We're going to switch things up today, do something a little bit different. I'm here at one of my locations, one of my venues, Besame, on Grayson and Broadway. Here with my friend Kai Phoenix.
How you doing, man?
He's not that famous or popular, but he's done a lot of cool things. He's a author, writer, podcaster, a bunch of cool shit. Wanted to bring him here today and talk about stuff.
I'm good with stuff, man. I always got something to say, man.
I've told you before, like the thing that I admire about you, the reason I wanted to have you on as a guest is because you've written multiple books already.
Right.
You've been in the military, seen you do, create really dope music. The thing that I admire the most about you is that you don't do shit like with money in mind. You just do it just to create. I'm the opposite. I don't really have any substance when I do things. I just do them just to make money. I do. I mean, I have substance, but I mean, I usually first think about like, what's the come up look like? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like how can I make money off of it? You do shit because you love it.
You're just a natural born hustler. The adrenaline and the rush out of creating something that is lucrative and you get to see, I think that is your drug of choice. You know what I'm saying? People come to your establishment and they enjoy themselves and they pay money and it's like, you created this from your idea. I think that's your drug of choice. And for me personally, creation is my drug of choice. Yeah, I want to get paid what I'm worth, but this is stuff that I would do whether I got paid or not. I'm not paid right now, and every day I'm in my head, but this is who I've always been. I'm a storyteller. I'm a creator.
I think my businesses are like what I create. You know what I'm saying? The vibe, the look, the brand. But yeah, I mean, usually everything I do, I tie money into it. You know what I'm saying?
Because you put money into it.
Yeah. But the one thing I've always been good at is that you see me always have shit to sell. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always the one, selling CDs or selling merch or selling CDs like out of the trunk, just pulling up on the street and be able to sell your music, which wasn't really good at the time, to random kids on the street. Right. Vandal and all that stuff. That was good. It was good. But it was an easy sell. But I mean, to do that and not really have anyone know who you were. It's not like we had like radio play or, Instagram or a big following, but I was still able to take the product and then, get it distributed,
turn it over,
the street, turn it over.
Convince people to buy into your product. Yeah, man, for me, my father, my grandfather and stuff like that, I see how they were happy people without thinking money. They just were stable. So in my mind, stable is the goal. You want to build stuff that you can pass down, but I only want to get paid for what I'm worth, and I'm okay with stable. As far as the hunger, I'm more concerned with like legacy, because your kids gotta you want to give them a head start, and you want to put them in a stable condition so that they could live their best possible life, but they gotta live their life. If you become a millionaire and multimillionaire and all of that stuff, and you hand it down to them, 9 times out of 10, they can become assholes or they take it for granted. If they come up in poverty, they got to go out and get it. Every condition breeds a different type of person.
So you try to stay in poverty so that you can create the conditions.
Nah, I'm a raise them in a stable condition and focus more on the people that they become. But I'm more concerned with legacy. I don't want to exist.
I did think about that though. I was like, man, should I just go bankrupt and then just put my kids through like the worst living conditions?
Of course, it builds great character.
It builds character, right? No, I think you're right, man. I think like, creating stability. I mean, even though I shoot for like, big moves in the food and beverage scene here and, building these brands and trying to make a lot of money and stuff out of the bars and the restaurants, I'd hope that I'd be able to rub off on my kids to the point to where like they become entrepreneurs. And if they don't, it's okay. If they want to go to school and get a job and be the best at what they do. I mean, as long as they're happy, I mean, I'm not really concerned too much about what they do as long as they do it well and, they have some type of goal in life, whether, it's art, music, or business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, or whatever else, right? Whatever else they want to get into. I'm doing all this shit to create stability for my family and hopefully their family and their future.
I had a question, right? Well, I got several questions. in the beginning, and I think that your audience is well acquainted with your story, because you know, me and you're my friend.
I didn't know that.
You never really, much like me and a lot of men that I know, I wonder about how you are able to process things. We sort of like just push it. How much in the beginning when you started coming up did you channel grief into creating?
Oh, all of it.
All of it.
Yeah, for sure. You know, after I lost my brother, it's the hardest thing that I've ever been through, but I can't imagine like losing a child or something like that, right? But it's definitely in the realm of pain, right? I mean, losing a family member, losing someone that you're super close with and stuff like that. You know, shit got dark, man. I mean, I didn't know what to do for the first couple months. I mean, it was just a dark place. I was alone most of the time. Like our family, when there's a funeral or something big happens like that, right? Somebody dies, all the immediate reaching out, the I love yous, everybody wants to be BFFs and get real tight. For my friends that were already existing,
right,
it was easily received. But there was a lot of people coming into my life that had never really been there. I quickly went back into the old routine of just me and my immediate family, you know what I mean?
I figured that in the beginning, I think that grief was the engine.
Yeah.
I think that you don't have a process, so you just channeled it into the creation.
Exactly. You know, and initially I think trying to find I don't know what it was, but just something popped in my head. I'm like, I got to do something. I can't be here at home. We were already shopping for places. I mean, I was already looking at bars with him and looking at other ventures in Colorado. We wanted to get in recreational marijuana.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like we flew out to Colorado. We met some friends that were in the industry. We were shopping for real estate. We were looking at retail spaces and learning what it was going to take to get into that game. It's never happened.
Colorado's awesome, too.
Yeah, Colorado's dope. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so we were already in our minds looking for, you know, let's just stick to what he already did. He ran 5 or 6 bars in town. He was a regional manager for a group of bars and nightclubs and stuff like that. The strip club popped in my head first. I mean, I saw.
Of course, you know what you know.
One of my friends that was a manager at the club said that they were hiring. I got the job at Perfect 10, and then I was there for a couple years, you know what I'm saying? I met my wife there. She wasn't a dancer. She was my liquor rep. She was selling like fancy high-end scotches and stuff like that. I think when I met her, that was, when we became serious, that was the turning point. And I still had a lot of grief that I was dealing with. And it was barely my first New Year's without him when I met her. I asked her to marry me right around March. You know what I'm saying? So like a year and 2 months after he died, you know, I was already engaged, getting married.
Stabilizing force.
I think that brought the focus for me, being able to harness the grief and all these new feelings and new things that I was going to go for, that I was feeling, and start focusing that on like an actual goal of like, okay, well, you know what? So that's when I started laying down the foundation to do El CAMINO.
Right.
Like my brother wanted, he had a vision of doing something different. Right. He just wanted to do a really nice high-end speakeasy style bar with, you know, 1950s type, you know, roaring 20s type feel. I want to do something a little more like family friendly and that could make money during the day and not just rely on the late night stuff. It's definitely the driver, man. I think being able to take pain, you kind of need fucked up shit to happen to grow from it.
My saying is pain is paint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you know how to use it correctly, what you're supposed to do with paint is paint a masterpiece. You're supposed to channel it and create something out of it, or it destroys you. So paint is paint to me. Initially, when I saw you in your beginnings, I was like, that's the driving force, because I don't see you as a person that, you're very internal. You're very cerebral, so you're always in your head. And I'm like, it's the only way he's going to process this. Motivation and inspiration, 2 different things, right? Naturally, if somebody asks you about your business, you'd be like, yeah, I'm doing it for my family and blah, 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 blah. Because I think as a natural-born hustler, and we come from the same similar type of background, a lot of the stuff that we're into is very ego-driven, especially because we're doing things that are not being done.
Yeah.
Or haven't been done. So
at
it's
least
very
in our circles.
Yeah. How much do you feel like you're motivated by, I don't want to say stunting, but just sort of like when I watch your social media presence, do you like I told you motherfuckers this and this and this, and I was right, and this, and how much is that the motivating force? I mean, of doing something that's not being done and trying to.
You're right in the sense that like my family doesn't motivate me to do this shit. I was already doing this before I even had my kids, right? So it's pretty generic to say something like that.
It would be bullshit.
Especially for somebody like me. I think that my family gives me focus. They changed my life for the better to where my main focus now is like, how am I going to build this so that when I'm gone, they have something to keep building on. You know
Is that truly the motivation?
Now, no,
Or
I'm
do
saying that's
you-
not the motivation. I'm saying that's
Okay.
the focus. Like
Right.
the motivation, honestly, man, I think we grew up with gangster rap. I told our friend Ty, the previous generation, the millennials grew up with drug dealers, the Gen Zers and the new kids grew up with drug addicts.
Yeah.
Like as inspiration for music and stuff like that. I grew up with 50 and Nas, Mobb Deep, you know,
So
like
it's
all the
It's proving people wrong.
yeah.
Where do you
Proving
think that
people wrong.
comes from?
It's not even a hip hop culture thing. I mean, I've seen my dad be an illegal immigrant. I didn't see him come across here. He came here when he was 9, right? But go from being an illegal, working in Wendy's, right, and you know, managing fast food joints to, you know, being a Marine and then building businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like from the ground up. I see my grandparents come here with not much, get help from other family to come to the U.S. and build a life, and then, you know, make an incredible life for you know, them and their families, you know what I'm saying? And my uncles and stuff like that, and, you know, other kids. I mean, I grew up around hustlers, you know what I mean? I remember being a kid and seeing my grandparents, before they built their restaurant on their property, go to the flea market, wake up at 3, 4 in the morning, start making, you know, getting ready to load up and go set up at the flea market and be prepping days out before that and selling out, having lines of people at 6 o'clock in the morning all the way till like noon, and, you know, making thousands and thousands of dollars, you know what I'm saying? 10 G's
Right.
in a day, but which back in 1990, that was a big thing, you know what I mean?
So is it like a carrying on tradition?
It's something that we're like, literally, this is what I grew up around.
I understand it because I think if you find yourself in a situation to where you're doing something that hasn't been done, you have to be selfish.
I think you hit it on the head as far as saying it's ego driven because we're doing things that people haven't done in our circles. I see my other boys that have become successful, came up in the trap and left that life and then went legit and became very successful going legit. Because I
Right.
feel like, you know, Jay-Z's famous line and, you know, people think legal is the easy way out. They couldn't understand the mechanics. People think that like selling CDs and music for rappers is nothing, right? That's just like low level street life bullshit, right?
Right.
Or being a drug dealer is nothing. Like they can't really see past their own ignorance behind it. Is it the right way to do things? Probably not, right? If you can make it out of certain situations that are hard, right? Take those same skills and put it into something that's legitimate. I feel like those types of people stand out. So,
Who do you feel like you're competing with?
you know, I would say myself, but it's honestly everybody. I guess it's part of that era, man, with hip hop culture. Is like everybody I'm around.
Yeah.
It's all competition. So I can't lie and be like, oh, I'm only competing with myself. And I see other people, it's like, I want to take their lunch. I know I'm funny, man, and I have like funny thing about me or how I carry myself and stuff like that. But you know me well enough to know that when it comes down to it, man, I'll get grimy too. I low key like drama. I am more mature now to the point to where I'm like, all right, there's obviously certain things I'm not going to stoop down to tarnish my name or anything
Right.
like that. There might be people in the city that will never do business with me because they feel that I'm a certain way or, you know what I'm saying, too cutthroat or a snake or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, the only type of people that I ever had problems with are people that couldn't pay their bills or talk too much shit and don't got enough action. That's basically it.
I see you like the throwback to the old school athlete. It's like Ricky creates shit to motivate them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Invisible bullies.
Pretty much.
Or invisible situations. The shit that scares me, dying and not living a life that's worth remembering. I don't want to have been here for nothing. I only get one go around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you only truly die when people stop remembering you. So everything that I'm doing, knowing that, yeah, people have published books from San Antonio and people write, but you're not doing philosophy, you're not doing essays, you're not doing poetry, not like, the shit that I'm doing is tapping into, what I've noticed about a lot of people is that people have a hard time allowing themselves to embrace their full imagination. Because if you embrace your full imagination, you feel like kiddish and shit like that, there's walls, there's limits that you set up for yourself because you're worried about what people think. And I know that I'm not one of those motherfuckers. I've been living in a show in my head, fourth wall. You know what I'm saying? Talk to myself more than I talk to other people.
Yeah, same, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I think
So it's like,
schizophrenic.
people should talk to themselves more. People should think about death more because it orders your steps and makes you reach greatness. And the reason I say it's selfish is because I'm not necessarily thinking about my kids when it comes to that. In the future, sure, but everything is like 50 years. I'm thinking of like 50 years old.
No, I think you
like
hit
I'm
it
an
on the
old
head
person.
as far as the death remark. I think that losing somebody so close to me definitely kept death in my mind. Almost every hour of the day, it was like thoughts of death and life and how fast it'll end and stuff like that. Definitely was like, I need to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Until I'm gone. But I do care, man. I do really want to help people. And I think one of the things for me, as far as like leaving my legacy behind, is like, when you really look at what I've done, there's countless people that I've helped come from entry level,
Right.
maybe even like nothing, to coming up. You know
Oh,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Like I laugh at the amount of bullshit this is. And when I say that, I mean, you do the rough exterior, you're very internal, but it's very hard to hide your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not that much of an asshole.
It's with your intentions. And it's just, we come from a certain generation where we armor up. All of this is armor, muscles and tattoos and straight face.
Yeah.
It's all armor, and you don't really recognize that until you get older. I realize that now, I get older and I walk into places and I even have to acknowledge it. Like when I'm in class, I go to UTSA and the one thing I've noticed through these years of going to school, it's the same shit. I walk into a classroom and I watch the classroom fill up, but around me, like I got a fucking force field. You know what I'm saying? And it's not until I speak until they're comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm just one of those dudes who my intelligence is not recognized until I speak. And then when I speak, it disarms people and
Yeah,
they're
you look
going,
pretty stupid.
Well, tattoos, bald head, straight face, I get it. You know what I'm saying? As I get older, you forget that you got that armor and that you are grilling people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sizing people up.
Is it hard for you to size people up because you're so small?
Not really, no. It's easier because you just look up.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're right. You got to have a little bit of a tough love and really a tough side to you because too many people try and take advantage.
In your
In my position, a lot of people try
in
and take
your
advantage.
position, for sure, somebody's going to. I don't see
Basically,
that in life.
when you become a multi-business owner, right, and as successful as I've been fortunate to be in just a short amount of time, I think the number one thing that I need to do daily or at least weekly is defense, straight up.
I think that
You know?
you've become successful, so it's like the cartoon. You're on the boat with your best friend, and then the best friend becomes chicken,
Yeah.
something to eat, and you feel like because I'm successful for other people, I'm something to eat, and you feel like you always got to be like, I got to show motherfuckers it ain't sweet, bro.
Yeah, man.
But I don't think that's how life really is.
For me, it is.
I think I think
it
it's
is.
situational. I always give people.
I work with 11 other business owners, and that's not including the other ventures that I have going on where, you got landlords and you got, the tax office and you got vendors, trying nickel and dime you for every little thing, or contractors trying nickel and dime you for every little thing. So it's constant defense. It's literally every day is defense. I think that's the majority of my headaches is somebody trying to play with me is, play with my money, you know what I mean? Or
Right,
trying
right.
to tax me or, take advantage of me in some kind of way. And then the other half is just dealing with kids, dealing with other business owners that don't really have it all figured out because you got to think where we're at, like what we're doing is pretty entry level, right?
Right.
But back to that ego thing, people have egos. We all do. I have one. When they taste a little bit of success, they start feeling like, oh, like they're the king of the world, right? Basically what I'm getting at is I've seen successful food trucks and successful entrepreneurs like on the brink of failure that are making
Right.
money, but because they're poorly managed or because the owners don't know what they're doing, they're on the brink of failure. It's defense, and then the other side is coaching. It's like that's the other half of my time is like fucking coaching all day, every day.
If you once told me that you want to be a hub, you want to be the hub, is that still a goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, I already am. I mean, the wait list is still long, you know what I'm saying? But I think the goal for me is like, continue to help people build their businesses, man. I mean, I like working with startups. I don't know what it is. I just like helping people build from the ground up.
You think you see
know.
yourself?
I don't know. I wasn't that stupid. So some people are just like, damn, like you got to give them the whole thing. It's like, yo, like I just need to be pointed in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Some people,
Yeah, everybody's not you.
it sound negative about it, man, but some people have no business opening a business. You know what I mean? Like it's straight up. The illusion of ease is real on Instagram and YouTube. You know what I mean? Like this game is not for everybody. You got to pay to play. It costs money. It takes money to make money. There's a lot of weird like ideas out there that you can just build this big business with like little to no money down, and that just doesn't exist. You know, like I said, coaching people is my hobbies right now, right? You know, eventually I'd like to get into some real consulting and stuff like that for, you know, people that actually have the means to build a successful business.
Do you think that you're built for that? You have a certain personality type, right? And I tell people all the time, I'm always a filtered version of myself. The only time that I'm never filtered, no matter how I communicate, no matter how many people feel like, because of the places I've been, I am a bit of a harsh communicator, but no matter how harsh of a communicator you think that I am, I'm filtered for everybody. And the amount of filtered based on how much you can take. But the only place I can be 100% myself is a written page. But in order to reach people, you have to filter yourself. You don't really filter yourself a lot. Do you think you're built for coaching and consulting?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm the best type of coach.
Not everybody can take you, though.
No, not at all, man. There's people that just will never work with me again because I said some shit that might have offended them. If you catch me on a bad day, I'll just tell you straight up how it is. Like, you know, I might hurt your feelings. I try to have, you know, good candor when it comes to telling people shit like that, but sometimes, man, it's just like, you just got to let a motherfucker know, like, yo, you can't do this shit. Like, you're going to fucking fail. I'm dealing with that right now. You're going through a really, like, a downtrend after COVID. You know, you had the big spike, and then 2023 kind of sucked with the heat and everybody making less money. Opening a business is like 90% just watching your pocket from people trying to take your money.
I think that's one of the best things that you did when you were making the videos is trying to express to somebody, I'm on my third business, but I'm almost, you know, I almost went bankrupt. I almost lost everything. I think that the common person sees you as like, oh, you're on your third business, you're super successful. It's sort of like a rapper that's telling you how they murdered somebody, but then they tell you how they can't sleep and stuff. It's the truth behind it all.
Yeah. We said this the other day, man, and I'll say it, I think with brown people in general, like me, you know, my family, and I'm sure you've seen this in you know, your friends and family and stuff like that, is like, we act like we never had nothing before when we make it. So like when you start making a little bit of money, you feel unstoppable, you feel like nothing can touch you, and then reality will hit. You know what I mean? That was where I was at. It's like, okay, I got multiple successes under my belt, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go open 2 new bars at the same time, and then boom, reality hit. You know what I'm saying? You lose damn near all of it. A friend of mine told me, he's like, I gotta be careful. He's like, because that one bad one can bankrupt you, and it sure enough almost did. Fortunate enough to make it past that. But again, when people talk to me and they know a little bit about my story, or see the post, or see the HBO thing, and see whatever, right? You know, they read about me on the news and stuff like that. It's just like, they make it sound like it was easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm just gonna go buy this truck and make $1 million. Like, it doesn't fucking work like that. Can't tell you how many new truck owners I've met, and then within 6 months, that same truck is on Facebook Marketplace for sale. Yeah,
it's not what you get. You know, it's like social media. Nobody's posting their losses.
It's not like the gym or anything else in life to where like you get what you put in. You could put in your whole fucking life and still lose it. There's so many factors. It's location, it's your marketing, it's your staffing. I mean, especially when it comes to food, man. I mean, I've dealt with shitty ass employees, like people that just don't give a fuck about the food that they're putting out, but it's your name, it's your money. You invested your entire life to open up that truck. Then you got to deal with employees that just don't give a fuck what they're putting out.
And then there's unforeseen. You could do everything goddamn right. You got the location and everything, and then a COVID. Yeah. And that's it. Exactly. It's unforeseen circumstances, so.
Reality hits everybody eventually, but I think for where I'm at now is just kind of like focus on what I got for a bit. You know, if opportunities come up, I'm going to be a lot more careful about, you know, what I take on. For right now, I'm going to focus on the 4 that I got, build those up, and then continue to build up other small businesses, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I already am a hub. I mean, I have 11 food trucks that work with me. Right, and every single one of them is independently owned and funded, and they're mom and pops. I mean, they're food trucks. I want to build the dream team of trucks around me. You know what I'm saying? Like build them up to where they're successful, and then that'll help push my success a little further. And then in a couple of years from now, when I'm paid off my debts, I'll see where I'm at.
I think that's where my focus is at this point. Is that I'm very much a solitary creature. To be a creative, you have to do it in the dark. And solitude is necessary, but I really desire to be a part of something greater, like a creative, and gather people around you, because legacy truly is how you benefit other people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Is if you could build somebody up to be greater than you, if it's traced back to you, that's the legacy. You know what I'm saying? And if, as a writer right now, I'm just trying to gather, I got so many geniuses around me that just got no work ethic.
That's me, right? I'm right here.
Nah.
Oh.
But they got no work ethic. And you're trying to teach them to use their talents to, you know what I'm saying? To gather around people and unify, but it's hard. That shit is hard. Find yourself being creatively lonely. You can't always just do it by yourself.
So I got just a handful of friends, like literally probably less than
That's because
less
nobody
than 5.
likes you.
I know.
But
It's okay.
yeah.
I can live with it. But yeah, man, what's next for you as far as books go? And
Right now,
creative stuff.
I believe in having like a dark year. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I see this year as a dark year.
Is that why you broke your Achilles?
No, that got dark because I was old and I was out of practice.
That's a good start to it. That's a good start to a dark year.
You don't break your Achilles.
Tear it, whatever.
You tear it off the bone. But I'm having a dark year because in order to be creative, you got to take yourself away. The phone has been a problem for me. I ain't gonna lie. Putting the phone down, the phone has been a distraction for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm writing 4 books, 9 different pilots. You know what I'm saying? All in a circle. You should have years in which you go dark and where you do the majority of your work, step back from people, step back from distractions. And I decided this year is going to be a dark year where I just focus on getting the work done.
Yeah, man, you got to. I think that was the last 6 months for me for sure. I kind of went dark a little bit. I tried to post a little bit here and there, but I didn't have a haircut for like 4 months. And you know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, I'm gonna go to the gym and deal with problems, deal with headaches, deal with obstacles, deal with money issues, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna get through, you know what I'm saying, and keep pushing to get the next spot open.
Yeah.
But now we're in a better place, you know what I'm saying? I think things are gonna start looking up this year and definitely not opening up any more businesses anytime soon. I might have to maybe open up a food truck here and there or something like that, but I just want to focus on what I got because we got a lot of shit going on, man. I mean, with the 4 spots, it's like 40-something employees, you know what I'm saying? 50 employees almost.
Ike Chula's doing...
exactly. The brunch spot is crushing it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's doing amazing. I mean, to see a line out the door for brunch, for 6 hours straight, 3-hour waits is crazy. So I got to focus on that, fine tune that, make it look good.
How much do you pride yourself on creating a hub for a community?
As much armor as I have as I can have, and the don't play with me type mentality. I love seeing, people just like me find success and better their lives for them and their family.
Do you feel like you should show that side more?
Nah.
Why?
You got to be realistic when it comes to this, man. It's like you can't, the kindness thing and just always being happy and stuff like that. I'm just not wired like that. I don't live like that. I never have. From dealing with depression and I actually am not in a good mood most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'll work on it, but at the same time, it's like this got me to where I'm at. And there's not too many fights that I'm gonna lose, and that's because of who I am. I feel like people mistake kindness for weakness, man. They really do.
Do you think it's hiding yourself? It's a side of you, and it's genuine. You know what I'm saying?
Genuine, though. I'm genuinely an asshole, and I'm genuinely a caring person.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I.
But you're multifaceted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think I'm a dick. There's other sides, but you got to be yourself.
You gotta be yourself. No, I'm not wired like that, man. Like, trust me. You catch me on a good day. You catch me on a bad day. If you're somebody that is fucking grinding, busting their fucking ass, you're doing everything right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm usually a lot more. I take the gentle approach to people like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I can relate. Right. The people that get the rougher side of me are usually people that are making a fuck ton of mistakes and I'm wondering why.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, like money is slow right now. Well, what have you done lately for your marketing? What have you done lately to drive traffic to your business? The problem that I have the most with people, and I've dealt with it, and you've seen it firsthand, kind of here with trucks that I've had to, kick out or they leave or something like that, right? Like they left on their own because they failed or because they feel like this is not the place for them. The people that don't have accountability for themselves.
No,
right?
I agree.
They'll step into a place and they'll be like, oh man, it's slow. It's the place. It's you. It's you, not marketing. It's you. It's the trucks. It's somebody else. Nah, man, it's you. Blaming somebody else because you're not doing good annoys the shit out of me to like no end, man. I just feel like it's the weakest thing that I out of a person to blame somebody else for your own circumstances. If anybody used to blame would be like, I came in and I cut the power to your truck. You could blame me for that, right? But to blame me for, business being slow, or to blame another truck for taking the business or whatever the scenario is, blame, I feel like, is just the action of a weak person. Now you have other trucks or other businesses owners that I work with that are just fucking grinding, man. They're literally doing everything they can without me to without any of my influence or any of my help to get their shit off of the ground, and they're finding success. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like that, those are the type of dudes that I would go. I don't hang out with nobody except for you and a couple other people. I would go out of my way to chill with that person and just talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And give my insight and bounce ideas off, because I feel like I could learn from them.
You think
right?
It's cultural? You think that is the Mexican in you, that
hell yeah,
you only respect work ethic?
Yeah, speak Spanish, but it's like ponte las pilas, like fucking put your batteries in, man, like fucking get to it. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's that toxic masculinity side of me that we grew up with, right? The angry grandpas and the angry dads. Fucking toughen up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it should. We're talking about business. We're not talking about just life in general, right? We're talking about business. Like you can't be a fucking crybaby in this game. You know what I'm saying? If you want to turn around and point the finger at somebody else because you're not successful or because you're having a rough time in the space that you're in, it's you. Really look where we're at. We're in the heart of the River North area in downtown San Antonio, right? You can see the Pearl right there. You know who owns all these properties? Multi-millionaires and big hedge fund companies. Like, don't know brown people lease space here. You know what I'm saying? Like, no dude from the west side or south side or whatever is leasing land over here. You know what I mean? California companies are coming in here.
I think I just found part of your driving force is that's what you want to be.
Yeah.
Because you don't see it. Once you reach a certain level, and I think culturally black people see that too. The more successful you get, you start seeing less and less and less, and you go, oh, I see. So maybe a driving force that you don't talk about is that you want to trailblaze for that.
Oh, yeah.
And that takes a certain amount of toughness.
Yeah, man.
Because it ain't built for you.
You're not going to get a handout. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You ain't just going to walk into the Pearl and be like, hey, can I get a space from you? Like, nah, man, it don't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, can I open up my restaurant in the Pearl, food court? Nah, you had to take this shit.
They're not going to open the door for you.
They're not going to open the door for you. Even this shit, this one shitty little house on Grayson, right? You know what it took to get this? Like, it took negotiating, but I had to stand out. You know who was in line for it? Top chefs. Big money people coming in as soon as this space became available because of where it's at. Wanted the space, and I beat all of them out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to name no names, but multiple top chefs in the city wanted to take this house, remodel it, do their thing, and get in this space. And out of all those people, I threw my hat in the ring and I got it because my name is pretty well respected. You know what I'm saying? For what I've done for my short amount of time in business. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't just happen just because people like me. No one fucking likes me. You know what I mean? Like people, like I'm not that likable of a person off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to warm up. You know, I'm like,
I'm grandfathered in.
Yeah, you were grandfathered in, but as a new person, like it takes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm standoffish, or I might say some shit that you don't like, or I'm just honest. That's it. I just say what's on my mind. If I think something doesn't have value, I'll say it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to waste my time or waste your time, right? So anyway, that's what I'm getting at, is that I didn't get this opportunity because somebody like me as a person or because I was a really nice guy. Nah, it's because I told the dude that owned it, I'm like, yo, you can put me in front, like put me next to any of these top chefs or these investors who want to come in and turn this property into something. I'm gonna beat all of their numbers, and it's proven. That's not to throw shade at my neighbors or anything like that, but last time I checked, we're probably, with us and 3 Star Bar at Bessemer, we're the busiest on the block. Us and 3 Star. The business across the street already went under in less than a year. I feel bad for them. It's terrible, but you know what? They're not grinding. They're not hustling. They're not pushing their product. Zero in-house marketing. Another thing that annoys me the most is when people get sad about why they're failing, and you go to their Instagram page or their Facebook, and you can count on 2 hands in 1 year how many posts that they made to push it. You have free fucking marketing at your fingertips. Back in the day when my grandparents had a restaurant, you had to pay hundreds of dollars just for a little fucking Yellow Pages slot, right? To get a news feature was thousands of dollars. To get a TV feature was tens of thousands of dollars. Advertising was so expensive back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Now it's free and they don't even use it. No one uses it, right? We want to sit and point fingers at it's the economy, or it's the neighborhood, or it's the construction, is this. Yeah, we dealt with those ups and downs in business too, but we didn't let none of it stop us. We fucking got it popping.
You think competitiveness in general is dying out?
Oh, 100%. Compared to music, it's that same thing what we talked about. Previous generation, you got the drug dealers, you got the gangster rappers and stuff like that.
Or you just want to be the best.
The Jay-Z's, you just want to be the best, right? Now, it's just like mumble rap drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is. But in business, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, it's the feelings, and let's be, everybody's feelings, right? And everybody's like, I think inclusivity is very important. And by that, I mean, like, obviously from like working with people from all walks of life. But I'm not going to hold your hand while you cry in the walk-in. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're having a rough fucking day, maybe you should find something else that's a little bit more chill for you to handle, right? Like, if you're not built to be in any business, don't do it. Go find something a lot easier to do. You know what I'm saying? Go find somewhere where somebody's gonna be, caring of your feelings and what you're going through that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the food and beverage industry is rough. You know what I mean? It's like, I'd imagine car sales is rough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're only eating, like, you eat what you kill. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're eating if you get people in the door. You know what I mean? If you're a server, you better be hustling and marketing the shit out of yourself as a server. Like, hey, here's my card. I'm serving here. These days, come back and see me. I'd love to take care of you. It's all sales. You don't work. You don't eat. You don't grind. You don't shine. Like, Mike Jones. Like, it's just fucking. It's a fact, man. Like, you're not gonna make money in any of these types of business, these entry-level business where you don't need a degree to be in it. You're not going to eat if you don't hustle. And,
we don't always, we tend to differ on opinion on a lot of things. And I think that's a key part of it, is that sometimes we don't agree because when it comes to competitiveness, clearly, when it comes to certain things, I'm super competitive.
Yeah, for sure.
And in other things, I don't feel the same way you do because I'm not competing with anybody. Like, the only person that I see is myself in the limits of what I can manifest. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's where a lot of times we're different, is because you either see your enemy or you're creating it. And that's what drives your competitiveness. And for me, I stopped seeing anybody and all I see is myself.
I think the competitiveness side of this is not necessarily like creating an enemy out of thin air. And nobody's my enemy, man. Competing business owners are not my enemies. Right. I might talk my shit or whatever, and have my little fallouts with people here and there because of their lack of accountability on themselves, or because maybe I'm just a little too harsh sometimes, right? And I expect more out of people. In the end, I think of this game and most business ventures as a game of ball, right? It's like anybody could step in, anybody can jump in, in a pickup game, right? Right. But like, what are you going to do to stand out? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do to score? You know what I'm saying? So there is a sense of competitiveness where, like, right now we're on the street with 6 other businesses. Like I said, I want to take their lunch. I want to get the lion's share of the money on this street. You know what I'm saying? And that's my goal. That's what I'm doing. In the food truck park game, I want to be the best. I do have the best food trucks in San Antonio, the food truck parks and the food trucks, because I've curated this experience. And when I think of the competitive side of it, I don't want customers to go to that spot. I want them to come to this spot. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's the competition. It's like we're fighting for attention and we're fighting for money. There's only so many people in San Antonio that today, on this day, are going to go eat at a food truck, right? So I'm going to make sure that they come to my spots. What am I doing to get them in my doors versus go to someone else's doors? That's pretty much how I'm wired with it, man. But
no, I definitely can dig it, and I can relate from a competitive standpoint, but even then, it's just like, in the certain things that I am super competitive with, I just know I'm the best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Same.
Put me in the court, turn on the lights.
Just be careful with your leg.
I understand it.
I'm fucking with you. I really appreciate you chopping up. We gotta do it again when we got more time, because I feel like it was going in a good direction, man. But yeah, when can we expect the next project from you?
2025. Like I'm always
more or less. You don't gotta give a date, but you're saying 2025. You're gonna come back out and just
20.
books.
You know me. I'm gonna put two, 3 out at a time.
Yeah.
I don't fuck around, bro. I'm not playing around.
Let me sell your book for you, though, man. I know you don't care about the money, but I just want to see you, make some sales.
Any help you want to give,
I'm
open to.
I got you.
Always.
Thank you to all of our viewers for watching the Hunger for More podcast. I'm Ricky Ortiz. Kai Phoenix. Follow us on Instagram, social YouTube, all that stuff. And stay tuned for the next episode.
Chill.